I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
Nobody saw this coming. Three of the most iconic names from three different eras of basketball, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Caitlin Clark, reportedly sitting on the same private call. The idea almost sounds like fan fiction, but sources insist it happened just weeks ago. And when you line up their resumes, the weight of it sinks in. Jordan, the man who turned 6 NBA titles into the most powerful sports brand on earth. Bird, the strategist whose basketball IQ rebuilt Indiana into a contender from the front office after dominating it as a player. And Clark, still in the opening chapter of her career, but already shattering rookie records and drawing sellout crowds everywhere she plays. This wasn't a podcast, it wasn't a casual Q&A, and it wasn't meant for cameras. It was confidential, business only, and it wasn't supposed to leak. So the obvious question is, what would be so important that it pulled in legends from three different generations? Whatever it isn't small. If Jordan and Bird are coming out of the shadows and Caitlin Clark is being pulled in this early, then it's not about hype, it's about power.
To me, it's just hatred towards this young lady. Only thing she's doing, like you said, is out here. She's playing the game of basketball, and she's having fun doing it.
I love her game. A lot like Steph. She reminds me of Steph Curry a lot.
Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing it.
Caitlin Clark isn't just the most hyped rookie in WNBA history. She might already be its most valuable business asset ever. Her impact is measurable in ways the league has never seen. Tickets in visiting arenas spike the moment her team hits the schedule. Her jersey drops sell out in hours. Her highlights trend every week across ESPN, Bleacher Report, and TikTok, bringing in millions of viewers who barely watched women's basketball before. And behind it all sits a stack of deals that read like the portfolio of a superstar veteran, not a rookie. Gatorade, Wilson, State Farm, and of course, Nike. Her Nike contract is reportedly in the 8-figure range, a historic first for a WNBA player, and comes with her own signature shoe line, the first since Sheryl Swoopes decades ago. That kind of money isn't thrown at potential, it's thrown at a once-in-a-generation name. But Clark's pull is bigger than endorsements. Her social media engagement already surpasses entire NBA rotations. She's reaching younger fans, casual fans, and even international fans who never had a reason to watch the WNBA before. For Nike, she's the marketing future. For Bird, she's the crown jewel of Indiana basketball reborn. And for Jordan, she could be the bridge that connects his billion-dollar empire to the next generation of sports business.
Jordan, it's a 3-on-2 for the Bulls. Michael on the drive, in for the right, for the jam, and power! Oh, man! Kelly Tripucka couldn't run out of the plate. Consecutive field goals.
Michael Jordan's post-playing career might be the most successful second act in sports history. On the court, he gave us 6 rings, 2 three-peats, and an endless highlight reel. Off the court, he built an empire. The Jordan brand isn't just sneakers, it's a cultural force worth over $5 billion a year, turning his legacy into a business that out-earns most franchises. Even in retirement, Jordan pulls in more annually than some athletes make across an entire career. And that's exactly why his presence on this call matters. Jordan doesn't attach his name to side projects. If he shows up, it's because he sees an opening to build something lasting. The speculation is already flying. What if Caitlin Clark isn't just Nike's new star, but the face of a women's sports brand on a Jordan-sized scale? Not just a signature shoe, but an entire platform. An academy for young athletes, global training programs, apparel, media, even digital tools for the next generation. Imagine Jordan's competitive DNA fueling Clark's rise, his business genius shaping her legacy, the way his own was cemented decades ago. He sees the future, and Clark might be the centerpiece that finally pushes women's basketball into the same billion-dollar conversation.
28 seconds, Bird, slap pass to Archibald.
A little off balance.
Bird with the steal behind the back to Nate Archibald, back to Bird.
Tiny.
Larry, a little fake down the lane, between the legs to Roby.
Then there's Larry Bird, the quiet architect. Where Jordan built his empire through sneakers and branding, Bird built his through basketball itself. After retiring, he didn't chase billionaire status, he chased winning. As an executive, he shaped some of the toughest Indiana Pacers rosters in history, even earning NBA Executive of the Year. He coached them to the finals, and for decades he made sure Indiana basketball mattered on the national stage. And here's where it gets interesting. Bird's roots in Indiana run deeper than anyone's. He grew up there, played college ball there, spent decades building the Pacers into contenders. And now, Caitlin Clark has landed as the new crown jewel of Indiana Fever basketball. That's not a coincidence. Bird has always reserved his respect for players with vision, grit, and the cold-blooded ability to deliver under pressure. And if he sees in Clark what everyone else sees, leadership, IQ, clutch instincts, then it's not hard to imagine him stepping back in. Not to coach, not to run a front office, but to collaborate. Because, picture this, Jordan's billion-dollar legacy, Bird's basketball blueprint, and Clark's cultural pull combined into a multi-generational partnership, training academies, signature athletic gear, streaming platforms for basketball education, even VR training tools. 3 eras, 3 skill sets, 1 mission, to engineer something bigger than anything the sport has seen before. What's being built here isn't just another sponsorship or a one-off partnership. It feels like the skeleton of an entirely new basketball ecosystem. Picture a global development pipeline where kids as young as 10 could enter training academies backed by 3 of the biggest names the game has ever known. We're talking elite camps for both boys and girls, mentorship programs connecting young athletes directly with pros, and advanced analytics tools teaching the next generation how to play smarter, not just harder. For decades, women's basketball has lived in the shadow of the men's game. Less coverage, smaller budgets, fewer opportunities. But Caitlin Clark's arrival has shifted the landscape. She proved that fans will show up, networks will televise, and sponsors will pay. Now add Michael Jordan's empire, which turned sneakers into a $5 billion machine. Layer in Larry Bird's unmatched strategic mind, a man who rebuilt Indiana basketball more than once, and put Clark at the front, not just as a player, but as the cultural spark who can rally both new fans and traditionalists. That formula could launch the first women-led, women-centered sports empire. Not a branch of the NBA, not an offshoot, a self-sustaining platform with its own academies, its own gear, its own media, apparel designed specifically for female athletes, streaming platforms that broadcast women's games as the main event instead of filler, and interactive digital tools, think VR training, skill apps, and content libraries that let fans learn the game straight from the best. This isn't a charity pitch. It's the recognition that women's sports aren't just deserving of investment, they're primed to deliver massive returns. And with Jordan, Bird, and Clark at the table, it wouldn't just be innovation, it would be a power shift.
Put your blinders on, go to work, show up to work, punch your clock in, prepare yourself, work on your game, work on your craft, kind of keep your mouth shut, and just learn from the vets. When they ask, you voice your opinion if they want your opinion, man, early on.
You are.
Yeah, but she's incredible. Congratulations to her and her family. Yeah. The crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's phenomenal. I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Her range, her three-point shooting overall, her flair for testing her range every night and knowing that the other team's going to try to take it away. And she's fearless. No shot is a bad shot, and when you can shoot it as well as she can, she just adds another element of surprise that you can't really game plan for because it's so kind of just unseen.
It might sound like speculation right now, but history tells us revolutions always start this way. A quiet meeting, a few powerful names, and a vision bigger than anyone can fully see yet. Jordan, Bird, and Clark aren't just 3 random figures. They represent 3 distinct pillars of basketball history. Jordan is the gold standard for athletic branding, a man who turned his on-court dominance into a business empire that reshaped global sports. Bird is the architect, the strategist, the Indiana legend whose fingerprints are still all over the Pacers and the culture of Midwest basketball. And Clark, she's the bridge, the present and the future. A phenom whose rookie season is already bending viewership numbers, sponsorship budgets, and cultural conversations in her direction. Together, they don't just bring money or fame. They bring credibility, strategy, and star power across 3 generations. So what could this trio be planning? A women's version of Jordan Brand? finally giving female athletes signature products designed for them instead of hand-me-downs from men's lines, a global youth pipeline with academies on every continent, shaping the future of the sport before kids even hit high school, or maybe a media empire, a streaming platform or production studio that ensures women's basketball is no longer waiting for a seat at ESPN's table, but building its own. We don't have the details yet, and that's part of the intrigue. But the fact that Jordan and Bird, two of the most private legends in history, chose to sit on a call with Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's biggest new star, tells us this isn't just a casual idea, it's a blueprint. And when that blueprint goes public, it could flip the basketball world on its head. Because while everyone else is watching box scores, arguing over MVP races, or replaying viral clips, the real power plays are happening here in the shadows, and when they finally step into the light, the game won't just look different, it will be different.